Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Launch Buddies podcast. I'm Darien, your host for today, and I'm thrilled to be here alongside my co-hosts, Barb and Andrew. Together, we're diving deep into the exciting and sometimes challenging journey from school to the world of work for young adults breaking down barriers while living life with a disability.
That's right, Darien. Transitioning from high school to college or to the workforce can be exhilarating and transformative time, full of possibilities and new beginnings, but can also come with its fair share of hurdles and uncertainties. We're here to shed light on those experiences and provide valuable insights for our listeners.
Yes, that's very true. And we're not alone in this discussion. We have some of our incredible buddies joining us today, each bringing their unique perspectives and personal stories about their school to work and college journeys. It's going to be an enlightening conversation, and we're honored to have them share their experiences with us.
Our goal today is to inspire, inform, and empower our listeners as we explore topics such as supported employment, finding meaningful work opportunities, and breaking through the barriers that may arise along the way. We want to emphasize that every individual's journey is unique and there is no one-size-fits-all approach, but by sharing our stories and insights, we hope to provide guidance and encouragement for those navigating this transition.
So whether you're a young adult with a disability, a parent or guardian, an educator, or simply someone interested in learning more about the school-to-work transition for individuals with disabilities, this episode is for you. We encourage you to open your hearts and minds because the stories you're about to hear will undoubtedly inspire and enlighten.
And remember, this podcast is just the beginning. If you want to connect with our amazing Launch Buddies community, discover more resources, or share your experiences, be sure to visit our website, www.mykeyplans.com. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive and succeed.
So why don't we launch right into our conversation? We've planned all week about our big dive into this dynamic conversation about school to work experiences with our incredible buddies. Get ready to be inspired and learn from the real life journeys of these remarkable individuals. Hello, everyone. We're excited to have everybody here today. We just had Ari walk into the studio and we have some amazing news. She's about to be going to college very soon. Ari, tell us about how you found out about this program.
Well, in May of 2017, me and my parents went to Nashville, and I met an alumni I used to go there, and we talked to a family about it.
What is the name of the college?
It's Judson University in Elgin, Illinois.
That's amazing. Hey, did you already have your orientation, right?
Yeah. So in April, I went to orientation, and I got to meet my roommate and some people, and I got to walk around the campus.
That's incredible. What was it like? What is it like? What's your experience from that?
Like, there's like chapels where I get to worship, and like there's like cafeteria, and there's a lot of classrooms, and there's like sports and stuff.
Ooh, they have sports, and I can imagine that you're going to be going to some sporting events and things like that. Is it a really big campus or is it a small campus? What would you say?
It's like kind of like a small / medium campus.
Have you met anybody there yet?
Yeah, I met my roommate, and then previous years I met staff.
Okay.
That's incredible.
I have a question, if I can ask that, Darien. I was wondering about some of the people and the programs that you're going to be involved with. You know, thinking about the kinds of supports that you might get in classes or, with your housing, your living arrangement. What are some of those supports looking like for you? What do you expect to happen?
Well, in class, I'm going to have a student take notes for me. And then in my dorm room, I'm going to have an RA. But I didn't get to meet her, but I'm going to meet her soon.
That's going to be encouraging to have an RA there alongside. If there are any problems or things that you need to discuss or anything, really, I can imagine that they would be there as a resource for you, correct?
Yeah, and they can help me if I need help with stuff.
That is so awesome.
That's awesome, Ari. I'm really thrilled to hear that. It's really great to have support in areas where it's needed. And it sounds like you're going to have a lot of that on your journey at college, and I'm really excited for you.
I'm wondering if Andrew, do you have any questions for Ari for her journey toward supportive college experiences?
Yeah, is the university a Christian university?
It's like a Christian, because there's like chapels and upper room where there's like worship and prayer.
I guess when you mentioned about the cafeteria, and I know that a lot of the students that I've talked to that are excited about going off to college, they're like, well, what's the food going to be like? Are they going to have good food? Did you eat when you were there for a visit?
I've ate a couple times and it's pretty good
It's
food.
good. Oh, that's a good thing. Okay.
It's always good to have good quality food.
Great. Okay. And so I know that having people come visit is important to you. One of the strengths that Ari you have is that you're just such a people person. You love to get to know people and to stay in touch with people. So not only your family, I know you said something about your family would be able to come visit often.
Like my parents are gonna come a lot.
Also, you have siblings, you have brothers or sisters.
Like I have one sister and two brothers, and one of my brothers is gonna be in his last year of college.
Okay, and you've kind of seen your brother and sister go through college, and so you're going to get to have a similar kind of experience as well.
Yeah, because two of my siblings already graduate, and they told me college was fun.
Good. I hope
That's
it's going to be really
incredible.
fun for you too. Kind of wondering about the specific types of classes that you will take.
Oh, yeah.
And if you'll, if you're going to have cooking classes or, knowing how to budget and living on your own, those types of independent living kind of classes, is that what you're expecting to take?
Actually, I'm gonna find out a welcome weekend in August.
That's so fun.
That's great. It sounds like quite the surprise awaiting you.
It really does. Okay. And Ari, what else would you want to tell our listeners as an encouragement to them? Because I know that often people feel like, oh, college will never happen for me. Maybe they're discouraged. Is there something you can say to encourage our listeners?
Well, like for me, 1 year I didn't get into college and I was sad, but then I did it, so you can do that too. And my first day is August 21st, and like some of my friends from like different states, they're gonna come visit me and like I have friends really close to college, so I'm gonna have like a ton of friends visit me.
That's really important to you to have a community surrounding you to support you and to stay connected to. Is that right?
Yeah, and I'm still gonna stay connected to lunch buddies because
Oh,
you guys are gonna like call me and check on me.
I'd love to do that. I think that would be
too.
wonderful.
That would be great. We'd love to have you mobile and you working hard at your independence and your journey in college.
Right.
Wow, I can't believe I get to do this.
I can't either. It's going to be fun. I think our system will allow us to have a Zoom call with you here and there. So hopefully we'll be able to do the same thing on Saturdays, but then you'll possibly be on a Zoom call with us and our listeners can check in with you as well.
Me and Michael.
You and your friend Michael from here. I know Michael, and both of you are very excited about going off to Judson University. We're excited for you launching your new plan for next fall.
Well, actually, from this year, me and Michael are the only ones from Washington.
Whoa. Okay.
Whoa.
Same town, and you've actually known each other for a while. I didn't know if you knew he was applying too, but I think it's great that you can both, have a similar kind of pathway to college experiences.
Actually, our moms talk and figure it out.
Oh, so I love that mom community, coming together and crafting, kind of what plan might fit best for you.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's all the questions I have.
That's all the questions I have.
I think that's all the questions I have as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Ari, for being with us today.
And also, you guys, I put out 2 YouTube videos for you guys to check out about the school if you stay interested.
Yes, and we can definitely link to those videos in our show notes today. So listeners, make sure you do check the show notes, find the link to Ari's videos, and make sure to stay connected with us.
Yeah, and the favorite video that we have is of me getting accepted with my parents.
That was very exciting.
That's very heartfelt.
Oh, that letter came in the mail, and we got that captured on video. And so listeners, check that out. It's very inspiring and very exciting.
Definitely.
Okay, bye, guys.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. That was a great conversation we had with Ari and her experience in going to college. We're going to take a break to highlight our sponsor, SDES.
Enjoying the Launch Buddies podcast? We're all about celebrating the voices of self-advocates who bravely break down barriers. Speaking of brave advocacy, let's take a moment to recognize our sponsor, SDES Functional Academics. SDES offers a comprehensive curriculum, training, and consultation for students with disabilities. Their Steyer-Fitzgerald program for functional academics has been refined with input from educators and families, achieving great success in classrooms nationwide. As Launch Buddies, we understand the challenges of finding the right education. With SDES by your side, you'll feel confident and empowered to provide an exceptional education for every child in your program. Visit sdesworks.com to learn more about the Steyer-Fitzgerald program for functional academics and make a real difference in your teaching. Thank you, SDES, for your commitment to inclusivity and accessibility. Now let's dive back into our conversation that's so captivating with our amazing Launch Buddies.
We have also Sam here. So Sam and Koa, I just wanted to ask you about your experience in the job and internship area. What is that like for you guys?
So I was at St. Vincent, and then I started it in the winter rotation, and then me and my coworker went there to stock DVDs, and then we had to throw the clothes away because some were stained and nobody wanted to buy them.
That makes sense.
And it confused people.
I think that sounds like a really great job and internship practice job that you had. You developed some really good skills doing that.
What 3 internships did you work at, Darien?
That's a great question. So my first internship was at Kenmore City Hall. There I worked on data entry. I basically used the Outlook email online, and then I also looked at files, etc. there, and it really helped me in ways of knowing what to do with computers and knowing what to do as a data analyst. And then
it really prepared you for your current job, didn't it?
It did. It
Yeah.
most definitely did. And then my second internship was Barnes and Noble. I was the bookshelfer, but I also did computer work there as well, like looking at what type of book it is, the genre, information, the barcodes, scanning things. It was a great experience for me. It led to me exactly where I am now. And then the third and final internship was the North Shore School admin, where there I was a file clerk. I did filing, and then I also did paperwork there. And I gotta say, it really helped me to get to where I am today. And because now I know how to file and do things properly and have a great sense of organization. And from the third internship, I managed to find my way to ProVale, who has helped me, and the man from ProVale, his name's Claude. He helped me to get to where I am today, and I now work as a data analyst at SNS Petroleum.
He really took all of that information from your school experiences, all of those things that you developed as far as skills in your internships, and he took all of that and he went out and found a job that really matched who you are, right? Isn't that right?
It was very much accurate, and it really helped me. He was very supportive. He stayed through with me to make sure I got everything okay, and the transition was smooth. And I was really excited when getting started and learning and experiencing the adult world.
Right. And I had a question for Sam too. I know he was mentioning about St. Vincent de Paul, which is a thrift store, and you did a lot of organization types of skills, and you said going through the clothes that people donated and sorting them out and then getting rid of some of the things that don't fit for their store.
Yeah.
Right. And so those are really important skills for maybe a job that you'll have in the future. You did St. Vincent de Paul. What else did you do as far as an internship?
Snapdoodle.
What is Snapdoodle?
It's a toy store.
Okay. And in that toy store, what types of tasks would you do? Did you do anything with all of the toys on the floor out in the actual store?
No, I just picked them up.
Okay. So you kind of kept things clean and organized in there.
Yep. And then the employees were nice to me.
That is so
That's
good.
Great. It sounds good to have a very good atmosphere
Yep.
when you're at work. And that sounds like a place to be when working, right?
Yep.
What's another work experience, an internship that you had? You were at Snapdoodle.
Grocery outlet.
Oh, so you had a grocery store experience as well. And there, what types of things did you do?
I just was putting beers on the shelf,
Okay, so you organized some of their shelves, and anything else?
and that was it.
Was that kind
So I
of
was
funny
looking at
that you're?
medications.
Oh, I
Oh,
see.
okay.
So they had medications at the grocery outlet.
Yes, and they had to be stacked in order.
I was gonna say, was it kind of weird to be underage and stocking all the beer?
Yes.
I'll bet it was.
No, but it was a job task the people gave me.
That's
That's
right.
good,
So
that's
you were
good.
following the job tasks. Did you ever have, and Koa, you might want to speak to this when it's your turn to talk too, but I wanted to know, were there any supports like task lists or things to help you stay organized and knowing what to do? Did you have a task list on the job, Sam?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
The job task they gave me was to help with the carts, bring them outside when they were needed.
Did you have that listed on a piece of paper for you to
No,
remember?
no.
Oh,
Remember?
you
we
have a
w-
great memory, so I
Yeah.
can see that you wouldn't maybe need that type of support. So they told you do the carts. What else did they tell you?
like put the stuff away.
Yep.
And then after that, so at the end of our internships, we were starting to say goodbye to people.
Right. So a lot of social skills that you learned on the job in your internship and your job practice. And so not only are you getting along with other coworkers, you're learning all the tasks that you need to do to, do a good job and really build a resume. You have a lot of different jobs now that you're able to put on a resume for when you go and look for your next real job, correct?
Yes, and then on my last days, I started saying goodbye to people.
Yeah, and I'll bet they were sad to see you go because you're such an awesome guy.
Isn't it good to say goodbye to people?
Yeah, I think you are learning a
course.
lot of really appropriate interactions and how you, enter a conversation, how you leave an experience with, interacting with people, and I think that's
Yep,
awesome.
and I'm told after I say goodbye to people for all the good work when I move on to a new job that I don't take pictures of them because it hurts their feelings.
Well, it's just that sometimes people feel private about the kind of, getting their picture taken and they don't know what's going to happen with the picture, right? And so, yeah, sometimes people don't want to have their picture taken.
I'm done soon.
Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you for sharing today.
And Darien, I never take pictures of people without permission.
That's
And I
good.
would never take pictures of you without asking.
That's
Very
great,
good.
Sam.
Sam is now leaving the studio.
Sam is now leaving the studio. We are so happy to have his input today.
Yes. It was great hearing about his experience and the atmosphere where he works and exactly what he's learning. Thanks, Sam, so much for being here with us. We want to shift over to Koa and his job experience in the adult world. Koa, I've heard that you have a MC position going on. Is that correct?
Yep.
What are you announcing? What's
So-
it going to be for?
I'm going to do it for the graduation.
Whoa, using your voice to celebrate people that are going through graduation.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
it's for a program for the Adults Transitioning to Independence program.
Yep.
That's amazing. And when does this start?
The graduation is at June 5th.
That's exciting.
That's amazing.
How did you get that position or that job?
I don't know. I just got it from my heart.
Okay, straight from the heart, you requested to be a part in that way to celebrate your friends.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
All right, let's switch gears over to Bryce. We want to hear about your plans and your experience in the adult world. You're transitioning from high school, I hear, right?
Oh, he's graduating in
That's-
like, what is it, a week?
10 days.
In 10 days. We're
Wow.
not counting down. We are counting down.
Yes. Wow.
That's so fun. And you're going to go through your graduation experiences and, go through the cap and gown and the ceremony and all of that. I know a lot of people out there right now are so excited about just getting through graduation. And then we're thinking about beyond graduation into the fall, what you're going to be doing. And so I know, Darien, you had some questions about his next steps in the fall.
Of course, Bryce. So what are you going to be doing? What's in store for you? What do you have planned for yourself?
Having different opportunities for different jobs.
That's cool. I know that the ATI program provides that. And what is one skill that you have, one of your personal strengths that you have? What do you want to focus on?
Helping people. I love helping people.
You do.
That's so great.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful for you.
I am too. And I see him really helping people out. at Launch Buddies, I think it's really been cool to have Bryce participate, and he's kind of our behind the scenes guy and takes care of equipment and things like that. I know today you helped Koa. What did you help Koa
with the script.
Writing. You're a good writer, and you have some great skills in that area. So you were helping Koa with what did you write the script about?
What was it called again, Koa?
It's my ATI graduation.
That's right.
I'm hosting it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're actually going to be like the MC, right? And so you wrote a script for that. You helped out. And yeah, Bryce, you definitely are a people person. And there have got to be some opportunities at ATI and an internship or a job tryout that you could do that really builds on that skill. What might that be? I know, Koa, you helped out at Sorensen with early childhood classrooms and with kids. It wasn't necessarily your thing. You are a people person, but you kind of like other things that fit better for you.
But I powered through it though too.
You had a great attitude and you powered through.
Yeah.
I love that about you. That might be something that turns out to be a really good fit for Bryce because he is somebody who really likes to help out. So you can imagine like a teacher or being, an assistant in a classroom seems like to me that would fit really well. I think that'd be a fun tryout for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anything else that comes to mind as far as helping other people out? And it could be anything. I think if you're just helping out a boss, do a job like stack pallets or, work at the food bank or work in a different situation like at a nursery or a bookstore or a library. I think you can explore all kinds of areas that involve helping people.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say about that? What do you do in the summer? Okay. You got to use words. This is all words. So you can't shrug, right? So try to bring up those words. And so I'll take a
So how do you feel about having a job coach, some sort of support, and working with a group of people who are job searching right now, seeing where they're supposed to go? I know for me, when I was with job coaches, they helped me, in 3 different arenas, as I talked about before. So how do you feel about that? What would that feel like for you?
Well, they would help me with skills that I can't do by myself.
That's right. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard when you are getting into a job to know what it feels like to continue working for a longer period of time than maybe you're used to. And then also remembering the tasks. A lot of times people have a task list of things that they need to accomplish in a certain amount of time. And I know that job coaches are there to, coach, right?
Right,
Coach you
exactly.
along in the experience. And then getting along with other people. Did you make friends, Darien, at that program?
Oh, I did plenty. I felt, the atmosphere was just welcoming. Everybody was doing what they could to find where they were trying to go, like, destination wise. And I did.
That's great.
I made a couple friends there. It was great.
I'm
Amazing.
wondering, Bryce, do you know of any other friends that you have or people you know who are going to the program that you'll be going to?
Well, one would be Koa.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you'll have Koa there, so you'll be able to encourage each other and kind of do some things socially with each other.
Also, I'll be graduating next year too. But
So you have one more year you can be with Bryce at ATI. Fun. All right. Well, I'm hoping that you will continue to encourage him just like you do every week at Launch Buddies. And you can be, helping him out, transitioning to something that's totally new. Because it's difficult to even talk about what you're going to be doing, Bryce, because it's like you don't have a frame of reference yet. You don't know what it looks like or feels like, but Koa does. And so he can be continuing to encourage you along the way.
I'm a returning student.
And you're a good friend. Yeah, so I think this is going to be a great match.
Yep.
All right. Anything else we want to say for our listeners today about, what we expect as far as our participation in work and independent living and adulthood? Anything else, Darien, that you want to say for our listeners?
I think we've covered a lot of good ground there.
Yeah.
I think you're so
Yeah.
encouraging. Yeah. I think Darien is such a great example of somebody who has gone through the process and has had a job for 6 years. And so your encouragement to everybody else who's getting into the workforce.
My encouragement to say definitely is to seek support when needed,
Okay.
of course, and to follow as many steps as you can to get to exactly where you're going. Follow the steps that would help you to get exactly where you need to be and what you're looking for, and you will get there. And the opportunity is great, and there's so many great things in the world that we wouldn't know of
Right.
until we get there. And I would say from my experience, it's all great, and it's all going to be great for you, and it's going to be a good journey ahead of you.
Yep. Bryce and Koa, I'm really excited about your process because there's so much of, your educational experience where teachers are telling you what to do. Other paraeducators are telling you what to do. Parents may be telling you what to do. Maybe not, but maybe. And so getting to a place where you're starting to make your own educational decisions and your own choices for adulthood, that's really empowering, and I'm excited for your futures. So
I can't wait to hear all the scripts, though, today, too.
yeah, so for our listeners, make sure that you check the show notes for the stories and the videos that we're going to be sharing today, recording in just a little bit. But this was a great preview to those ideas and those experiences that you want to share on video as well. So thanks, you guys.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
And that concludes our heartfelt discussion on school to work and college planning for young adults with disabilities. It's been an incredibly fun, insightful, and eye-opening conversation, and we want to express our deepest gratitude to our buddies who joined us today and shared their personal stories. Your voices matter, and we're honored to amplify them.
So true, Darien. Hearing firsthand accounts of the challenges, triumphs, and the lessons learned on this journey is truly inspiring. We hope our listeners have gained valuable insights and found encouragement to pursue their own dreams and aspirations.
It's been a real privilege to be part of this conversation and to turn the spotlight on all of you. Our buddies have reminded us that resilience, determination, and immense potential within each individual exists. We want to remind our listeners that no dream is too big to discuss and develop with actionable steps. And no barrier is insurmountable when we support and believe in one another.
Before we wrap up, we want to extend our sincere thanks to all our listeners. Your continued support and engagement mean the world to us. We want to express our gratitude to our sponsor as well, Specially Designed Educational Services, also known as SDES, for their generous support in making this podcast studio space possible. Be sure to visit their website at sdesworks.com to learn more about the exceptional services they provide.
Thank you to everyone who has joined us on this journey. Remember, together we can create a more inclusive and empowering world where every person's abilities are recognized and celebrated.
Absolutely. And if you want to stay connected to the Launch Buddies community, don't forget to visit our website at www.mykeyplans.com. There you'll find additional resources, ways to further your own journey, and a portfolio development system to express your stories and experiences. So until next time, we are taking off.